I got a question from a viewer who wanted to know how much to add to their budget for power washing. If you own a manufactured home in Florida, sooner or later you're going to look at the siding, the carport, the skirting, the driveway, or just the green stuff growing on the shady side of the house and ask, do I need to power wash this? And in Florida, the answer is usually yes. Ideally, before the park manager conducts a routine inspection and sends you a notice. But how much should it cost? How often is it needed? How much pressure? What kind of machine? Should I plan to do it myself or hire someone? Are real questions. So in this video, I'll walk through the basics of power washing a manufactured home in Florida, including how often you might need to do it, what equipment is typically used, what it might cost you, and what to watch out for so you don't damage the home while trying to clean it. If you already own a manufactured home, it's likely you know a lot of this, but perhaps we can add a trick or two. If you're thinking of buying, this should be helpful in terms of budget and your maintenance plan. Hi, I'm Russ Watson. The You Ask, I Answer series takes questions I've been asked and shares the answer with current owners and future buyers of Florida manufactured housing. Today's question is, how do I keep my manufactured home clean? And what should I budget for power washing? In Florida, manufactured homes usually need to be washed more often than homes in cooler and drier climates. That's because we have heat, humidity, rain, pollen, mildew, algae, irrigation overspray, and in some areas, salty air. As a practical rule of thumb, many homes in Florida need washing about twice a year. Some may need it more often, especially if they sit under a tree, back up to water, face a shady direction, or are in a humid coastal area. Others may be fine for a year or more, if they stay fairly clean. The color of the home matters too. Darker colors often hide dirt better, but they should really be washed as often as other homes. The key is not to wait until the home looks neglected. Once mildew, algae, and stains build up, the job becomes harder and sometimes more expensive. For a typical manufactured home around 1,000 square feet, a professional may be able to wash the exterior in roughly 1 to 3 hours. This depends on the size of the home, the amount of the dirt, how much skirting there is, whether there's a carport or screen room, and whether they're also doing the driveway or concrete paths. If you're doing it yourself, plan on a little more time. You have setup, moving hoses, changing nozzles, rinsing, checking your work, and being careful around windows, doors, vents, electrical outlets, and seams. Since I have to move the power washer from a hose and faucet on one side of my house to a different one on the other, I do mine over the course of a couple days, with it taking me an hour to an hour and a half each day. So a homeowner doing it carefully might easily spend half a day, especially if the driveway, patio, carport, or shed is included. Now, a common question is whether you can power wash with just water. Sometimes, yes. If the home's just dusty or has light dirt, water and gentle pressure may be enough. But in Florida, a lot of what people are cleaning is not just dirt. It's algae, mildew, mold staining, irrigation minerals, rust, or organic buildup. This often means some kind of cleaning solution is needed, at least in some areas. Now, this is where caution matters. You don't want to just grab a harsh chemical, spray it everywhere, and hope for the best. Some cleaners can damage paints, stain surfaces, streak siding, or harm finishes if used incorrectly. Now, a professional may use a soft wash solution, which relies more on the cleaning agent and less on the high pressure. That can be a better approach for siding because the goal is to clean the surface, not blast the water behind the siding or into the seams. One of the biggest mistakes, in fact, people make is thinking more pressure means better cleaning. That may be true for some concrete, but it's not always true for a manufactured home. Manufactured homes have vinyl or aluminum siding. Some have painted surfaces as well, such as trim pieces, skirting, shutters, vents, and there's older caulking and seams where water can get in if it's forced where it doesn't belong. For siding, lower pressure and the right nozzle are usually safer than maximum pressure. Many pressure washing guides put common house siding in the general range of 1,300 to 2,000 psi. But the exact safe pressure depends upon the material and the conditions of the home. I've had much better luck at the low end of that using a relatively inexpensive electric power washer more frequently. For older aluminum siding, painted aluminum or oxidized surfaces, you want to be especially careful. Too much pressure can dent softer aluminum, remove oxidation unevenly, or damage the paint. Some siding guidance recommends starting low, using a wide spray pattern, and keep a good distance from the wall. The safest rule is this: use the lowest pressure that gets the job done. Vinyl and aluminum siding are not exactly the same. Vinyl siding can usually tolerate careful washing. Just don't spray upward under the laps, forcing water behind it, or get too close with a narrow nozzle. Aluminum siding requires a bit more caution. It may be more prone to dents, paint damage, or streaking if it has oxidation. If you've ever rubbed an old aluminum sided home and got a chalky residue on your hands, that surface needs some care. So whether it's vinyl or aluminum, don't think in terms of power blasting, think in terms of controlled cleaning. Wide nozzle, reasonable distance, low pressure, test the small area first. I have had both gas and electric, and for just cleaning the home and lightly soiled areas of concrete, electric is just fine. They are lighter, quieter, easier to store, and require much less maintenance. But they usually have less water flow and less overall cleaning power than gas units. Gas-powered pressure washers are stronger and better for larger jobs, especially driveways, long concrete pads, and areas of heavy buildup. The trade-off is they're louder, heavier, require fuel, more maintenance, and can do damage faster if you don't know what you're doing. Some are so powerful, you really should wear heavy boots to protect your feet in case you accidentally spray them. The pros usually come with a trailer-mounted high-pressure pump, water tanks, and a long hose that will reach around the entire house. They often have an assortment of nozzles and attachments to make specific cleaning jobs easier. Driveways and concrete pads are different from siding. Concrete can usually take much more pressure, and it often needs more cleaning force because it collects tire marks, algae, irrigation stains, rust, and embedded dirt. This is where a bigger machine may help. But there's another tool worth knowing about, a surface cleaner attachment. That's the round attachment you may have seen professionals use on driveways. Instead of a single wand making stripes across the concrete, a surface cleaner spins underneath and cleans a wider, more even path. It can make concrete cleaning faster and more uniform. Without it, many homeowners end up with zebra stripes all over the driveway. Before anyone power washes the home, make sure the basics are available. You're going to need an outside water faucet with decent water flow and enough hose to reach wherever you need to work. If you're using an electric pressure washer, you need a safe, outdoor, GFCI protected electrical outlet. Don't run a questionable extension cord through wet grass and puddles. You also want to check that windows are closed, vents are protected, fragile decorations are moved, plants are rinsed or covered if a cleaning solution is being used, and any loose siding, skirting, trim, or caulking is identified and repaired before washing. Also be careful around electrical boxes, outdoor outlets, light fixtures, security cameras, door thresholds, dryer vents, air conditioning equipment, and window seals. And one more thing. In a community, check the rules. Some communities may have quiet hours, water use rules, contractor rules, parking rules, or requirements for vendors who are coming into the park. Now let's talk about those stubborn orange or brown stains you often see on driveways, walls, skirting, and concrete. In Florida, many of those stains come from irrigation water with iron or minerals in it. Power washing alone may not remove them. In fact, you can blast away all day and still have the stain because the discoloration is bonded into the surface. Rust and iron stains often require a rust removal product. Oxalic acid is commonly used in rust stain removers and is known for use on rust and mineral stains on concrete and other surfaces, but it needs to be handled carefully and according to the product directions. The important point for the homeowner is this: if you have rust stains, don't assume regular power washing will fix it. Ask whether rust removal is included if you're hiring a pro, because many companies treat it as a separate service. So you have a few choices. You can do it yourself, you can hire a commercial pressure washing company, or in many communities, there may be somebody who lives in the park and does this part-time for their neighbors. There's nothing wrong with hiring someone local if they know what they're doing. In fact, it can be affordable and convenient. The most important thing with someone local is a recommendation or two from neighbors who have used their services. It's unlikely they have insurance, so you want to be sure they are reputable and reliable. Questions for anyone you're hiring include: are cleaning solutions included? Is the driveway included? Are rust stains included? Will you be using high pressure or a soft wash approach on the siding? Are you insured? With a commercial service, you may pay more, but you'll also be getting better equipment, insurance, scheduling, and experience. With a neighbor or a part-time person, you may pay less, but if they're not insured, you need to understand that there may be little or no coverage if something goes wrong. Most power washing I've seen in communities is a fixed price. You do have to ask what's included, as sometimes driveways will be extra, or stain removal may cost more, or if you want them to use special cleaning solutions, that too could be an extra fee. The typical prices that I have seen a handyman in your neighborhood would charge can range from about $65 to $150. Commercial outfits tend to be higher, and I would budget $120 to $200 per wash, depending upon the area you live in and the size of the home. A home in really bad shape may run you much more to get it up in good condition. So when comparing prices, don't just ask how much to power wash my home. Ask what exactly is included. Is it the house only, skirting, carport, driveway, walkway, shed? Will you handle rust stains? Do you have any mildew treatment you're going to apply? How about plant protection? That's how you compare one quote to another. Before I summarize, if you're looking to retire in Florida and trying to understand whether manufactured home living might be right for you, I'd like to invite you to join my free Inner Circle. You'll receive my resource guide and an invitation to my free workshop, Introduction to Florida Manufactured Home Communities. Just enter gotoinnercircle.com in any browser and sign up today. It's absolutely free. So here's the short version. In Florida, most manufactured homes should be washed about twice a year, sometimes more often, depending upon shade, humidity, trees, irrigation, and location. Now, this can vary depending upon many factors, including how strict the community is in inspections. For the siding, gentle cleaning is usually better than blasting with high pressure. Vinyl and aluminum need care, especially older or oxidized surfaces. Concrete is a different job and may require stronger equipment or a surface cleaner. Rust and irrigation stains may require special treatment. And whether you hire a company, a neighbor, or do it yourself, make sure the goal is not just to make the home look better. It's to clean it without damaging it. That's the kind of practical knowledge that makes manufactured home living easier, less stressful, and more enjoyable. If you have a question you'd like me to answer in this series, just leave it in the comments. As always, the more you understand about this lifestyle, the more confident you'll feel when it's time to choose your Florida manufactured home and community. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.